Greetings, ladies and gentle players. It's a wonderful Friday this January of 2022, making it a wonderful day for basics. I'm over here in my video editor, actually, because once again, I sat down with the lovely math magician and tried to kind of poke and nudge them on their way towards maybe thinking about the game in a little bit better direction. Once again, I have to point out, so I don't get banned on OGS, that the 8Q in question knew that I was helping good old math over there, okay? They volunteered, so I'm not covertly helping someone, rank up their account or anything like that. It's not what's going on. I asked my lovely community for a volunteer, and good old Ordston bravely volunteered. As you can see above my head, Ordston is an 8Q, and going up against Math Magician, who is currently 10Q. That is to be expected, because anytime you start learning new ideas and kind of, rearranging how, you're thinking about stuff and trying new stuff, there's going to be an adjustment period. So going down to get up is sometimes what you got to do. So that aside, hope you guys are enjoying the series. Saw really nice comments about it so far, so I think you are. So yeah, enjoy this one too. Hope everyone gets something out of it, and I will see you all next time. All right, so let's pretend like we know what we're doing this time. And since this is a new video, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Celes. I'm the same player from last game. I've still been playing Go since 2018, and
Haven't quit yet?
I have not quit quite yet. I've thought about it a few times, but I'm still here.
Right. All right, so we got a 8Q player this time. You are black, and it looks like we are opening corner side center, which is fantastic. 3-4 facing. Were you about to enclose low again?
No, I've been experimenting.
Oh, okay. Carry on then.
I have been playing around with both the 1 space high and the 2 space high.
Okay.
I do not completely know Joseki for these openings, but
there's a few Joseki that we have to kind of worry about with the 2 space high, because there's a little bit more invasion thrown back in there, but we can worry about that if and when he actually goes ahead and tries to tackle that. Here we have an outside approach, so we have, I would say, 2 basic ideas available to us right now. You know what those are?
So my first my initial instinct was to ignore the approach in this case, and approach their top corner first, so that they can't have an enclosure.
Now that is a very, very complicated idea. You could, in theory, ignore him and approach. However, the danger there is if we approach him and lose Sente, he will double approach our corner, so he gets to 2v1 us. That, depending on your knowledge of double approach Joseki, could go not that great. Usually what we're thinking about here is either do I want to back off and just take some points, or do I want influence for some reason and pincer my opponent and give up the corner? Right now, admittedly, yes. If we approached, we might find a reason to pincer and get the influence to do that. But right now, that's a lot more complicated. I would say let's not do that until we get you somewhere higher up in the queues, and let's just back off, take our points, take our enclosure, and see what our opponent wants to do next. Because the other one is just too many steps. It's going to get complicated. Very much not a basic opening.
Okay, that makes sense.
Speaking of not basic openings, look like someone went ahead and took your old opening and enclosed low. Options for here?
Let's see. Option number 1, kick. Because I can. I've already got the knight's move, so I can kick. They stand up and then immediately pincer it.
Where would you pincer?
Q10. I
So
pincer.
it's not a bad one. What I consider textbook is if we're going to kick and have them stand, we usually do a 2-space pincer high because that takes the exact shape point they want. Like if you want a base off of the 2 stones here, you would want to extend at least 2 space for a nice solid base. If we go to the star point, there's still a little bit of room to get a base, and it's not terrible, but I usually want to be a little bit more aggressive and take that away from them. So that is
Okay.
certainly an option. Another option is to approach the open corner on the upper left because we know that white owes you a move. They need to extend on the right side. So if we approach and then we get a result there, we can kind of predict they're going to go back on the right and fix their little weak point there, which will probably give us Sente. Either one of these options are completely fine. Either the kick into the pincer or just approaching and playing something on the left because we're going to be getting Sente again. It's up to you and how you want to continue the game.
Yeah. So if I approach, do I want to approach from the left side or from the top?
Another great question. That all depends on what you want to do. If we approach on the outside, we're looking to build. If we're approaching on the inside, we're probably looking just to ensure that their framework doesn't kind of grow out of control. Both of these are also completely fine. All right, this is a growth move.
I figure it works relatively okay with the 2-space extension.
Now here's where an important part that we have to decide. Are we going to play for territory and back off on the 3rd line? Or are we going to play for influence and back off maybe on the 4th line?
I kind of want Sente right now because I feel like it's big to split one of their sides
We're probably not going to
before.
get Sente because we're approaching because we knew that after we settle in some fashion, we're probably going to get Sente as they play on the right. Right? So we're getting some kind of a base here. They're owing you a move on the right-hand side, and then we can do something else. That was our thought process when we play here. If we break it right now and do something else, we might lose Sente, and then we could get kicked here and then pincered, and then the attack would be on us. So got to be careful of that.
So 3 spaces, 2 spaces, 5 spaces. What is the proper spacing for backing off here?
Well, you probably want an easy answer, and you're not going to get one. Because you could do 2. Some people prefer it. Some people prefer 3. Some people prefer high. Some people prefer low. It's just a question of... Go's a lot of times the question of follow-ups. Like, which follow-up do you like later? And that's pretty much what you go with. So here, meh, whatever. Just don't go 5. Don't go more than 3, please. Just don't go more than 3. Okay, that's fine. It leaves a little bit of an invasion on at C12, but that's completely okay. There are ways to handle it. Ooh, what do you think about that move?
I don't feel like this is Joseki. I was just gonna play D4.
Yeah, definitely not Chiseki. Here, he's kind of like ramming his face into your wall. Now,
Yeah,
let's try to
no,
make a prediction from this sequence. What do you think is going to happen when this sequence is concluded?
I will have I'll get the corner territory, and they might get a base on the side.
Okay. Can we predict who's going to be getting the next free move?
I would based on this. I think I should get Sente out of this exchange.
Because they're ramming into you, they're going to have to get some kind of settling here. So yeah, if we just respond as you wanted to do at D4, I think that's great. They need some kind of a base, which gives you Sente. And remember, there's already moves on the board that we decided that white should be playing. Ah, he's gonna go. He's gonna be a bit of a dancer. That's okay. So now he owes you moves on bottom because I have no idea what E4 is doing. And there's still invasions on the right, and there is still the splitting that you mentioned on the top of the board. So, a lot of options to choose from, and it's hard to go wrong here.
Let's see. So, moves that I'm thinking of right now. E5 looks like a good point to play. It looks like a shape move.
What does
Uh,
e5 tell you? What was it saying on the board specifically?
it says I want the bottom of the board.
No, it does not.
It
It
says
says,
I
I want
want.
one stone. Because you're threatening, because e5 is threatening to Atari e4, right?
Uh, well, yes, but it's also preventing the stone from running
Is it? Because
in any really direction.
I'm pretty sure e5 still allows white to extend to the right. So it's not preventing it from running. If we want to prevent it from running, we would have to do a pincer.
Okay.
So yeah, e5 is very, very slow.
Let's see. I kind of want to kick R6, keep my corner, and then back off to
You're afraid of the 3-3
uh
right now.
um no, but if they get P13, I might be.
All right, so this is where I'm starting to get concerned because you've expressed concern about your bottom right-hand corner, which I have no interest in right now. The entire right has multiple invasions on it. The entire top is still open to block a good extension there if we want to. And the bottom is still open to block whatever e4 is doing from getting a base. Any of these are much larger than worrying about specifically the one stone or specifically the kick to keep out of the corner. So I'd either be wanting to like invade the right or split the top or play move on the bottom to ensure that e4 can't settle easily now that it's point blank against your thickness. These are pretty much where we should be thinking rather than trying to like secure the bottom right hand corner or yeah, things like
But
that. Hmm?
but isn't the kick a forcing move?
The kick is a forcing move, but it does make it harder to invade that area later. Like right now, you know some common invasion on the right-hand side, don't you?
Um um there is R8,
Exactly. It's harder to
Q8.
play R8 if he has Q6, because
Gotcha.
his answers kind of change.
Um
So yeah, we don't really want to make that exchange just yet until we're absolutely certain that we don't want to invade there yet. Hard decisions to make, huh?
Yeah, I think this is right.
Yeah, that's fine. I would have played Start Point, but this is fine as well.
Thought about the start point, but the spacing to the stone,
The spacing is
uh,
weird on both sides, huh?
that feels weird.
It does. Normally we don't actually hit our opponents, do we?
No. I think I'm gonna trade territory for influence here.
Generally speaking, it's usually okay to trade third line for fourth line wall, yes, because third line territory is getting 2 points per line, which is not very large. From here, for example, even if you get 1 point per line of the wall that you're making, you can kind of subtract that from what they're getting on top. So now their third line territory up there is kind of like only equal to literally 1 point profit per stone, and that's not really efficient, right?
Right.
So gotta be careful anytime you're like making third line territory and giving your opponent influence in the center in exchange. Like you might think you're making points, but you're not making as many points as you think you are. So yeah, this is fantastic. Also, we would not ever want to hit this way as white. So right now from here, I think it's pretty safe to understand that we seem to be developing a fair amount of influence this game. The left is a bit of a framework, so that's kind of speaking towards influence as well. So the middle might be worth a couple of points somewhere in the mid game. which could be interesting.
I don't know. Am I making a mistake if I keep extending?
Um,
Or should I jump out into the middle of the board at this point?
I don't think it's a mistake because G15 could be Sente for you. That said, I think your group is okay as is, but if you wanted to extend, I don't see that as being a particularly bad thing to do either. It is giving more strength to your wall. It's ensuring it's harder to counterattack.
Let's see. So F15 is a good play for white if I extend back. That gives them good shape. I have to make another cutting
Don't really have
point.
to worry about his shape so much here because he's completely immortal on top of the board.
Right. I'm thinking of how white can break through the wall.
Hmm. Well, if you extend, what's he going to do?
He's gonna Hane at F15
And what is an obvious response to his Hane?
to Hane back.
That puts his F15 stone at 2 liberties, so he has to be very, very careful of trying to fight you there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's just the easiest reading 1 and then 2. It's like, oh, okay, he's gonna Hane, and then if I Hane back, well, he can't Hane again, otherwise I can Atari that. Now
I
he
can
might... Sorry?
so I can envision like what he's gonna play from here, or like what the optimal move is to play here, which is the Hane. And all I can see from that result is having an extra cutting point. And I get in trouble with cutting, like creating lots of cutting points around areas um a lot.
Hmm. Well, right now, 2 cutting points shouldn't be a problem unless you had liberty shortages on both groups. Like if, I don't know, if white had a stone, let's say at L17 and M16. So there was like a Hani that had a 3 stone situation there. Then I'd start to worry about your cutting points because you'd have like one group with 3 liberties, you'd have another one after the Hane with like 3 liberties, and then suddenly the cut's starting to get crazy. But without that, I think you're okay. Ooh.
So I want to my instinct is to play K3. Like if you want to save that one stone, that's fine, but you're only going to get 2 lines here.
Yeah, putting pressure on it is a pretty good idea. He's really, really close to thickness, and letting him settle easily would be disadvantageous. It wouldn't be the end of the world not to put pressure on it, but there's a finite number of weak groups that pop up in a game, and not taking advantage of one when it's there is a missed opportunity. So here, yeah, we're getting some free extra territory. He's gonna go ahead and live, but that's okay. He won't be getting very many points from this exchange. So yeah, should be fine. No reason not to.
Let's see. I kind of want a Hane at F16 because white didn't take that move.
F16 would be very, very strange. Like, what's Liberty shortage on you? I would play
Oh,
a much simpler move.
true.
Especially now.
Yeah, I'll just
Yep.
jump.
1 point jump. Yep. That is fantastic.
I've got a wall.
So what is one important thing to notice here if there is such a thing?
So, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, there's an important thing to notice on this board that I would not want to be unaware of. Any idea what that might be?
Um,
It gives you a tactical advantage. I'll give you that hint.
I could. There's a turn on the board. There's kind of awkward shape on the bottom of the board. I effectively have a 7 stone 10th line wall. Um, and this I don't think that this stone should be able to do anything with that.
You're getting really, really close to it. Fundamentally, the only thing that I'm looking for is the fact that the bottom group is not alive yet, and this group he's now running out is obviously not alive yet. So White has now given himself two groups that are not alive, that are very, very close to the same area. That is generally something we need to be very wary about before doing, because that can go very, very badly.
Yeah. So,
So I think Black has
my
the advantage this game so far.
my instinct here is to follow jump, F10. And then that'll encourage White to jump out again, and then I can place a stone around, K12.
Well,
That is my best plan as for right now.
doesn't seem bad.
I don't want White to cut off, my stones on the top of the board
Very, very true.
completely. That's a lot of stones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's a wait a second, no.
So this would have been a much better way to continue this. It starts
Um,
to look after like all of these kind of shape problems while putting pressure on the left-hand side.
no, the ladder goes to black. It's directly through the middle of the board.
Oh, he's trying to cut you. I didn't notice that.
Um,
Interesting. Trying to force cuts like this can be really, really awkward because as you can tell, it's your turn. And unless you pass, you're not really going to get cut.
right.
You weren't planning to pass that move, right?
No, I was
Okay.
not planning not to pass.
Just making sure.
I do think that it might be a good idea to make a Panuki here.
Yep, looking after your cutting point. Looking after cutting point seems fine.
Boop.
Mmm. See, this is what we need to be very careful of. We got distracted with some stuff that he tried to do, and you just forgot the thing that you said that you wanted to do. Because you mentioned that you wanted to cap him somewhere around like the H12 line, right? But
Well, yeah.
instead, you just ran him out again. We had Sente, we could have capped, but now he's going to keep running and slowly begin to surround our group and get closer to another cutting point. So yeah, you defended the left. Your E10 was completely fine. And that was definitely a time where we would want to go ahead and capitalize on what we wanted to do previously, get good shape, begin surrounding him. And yeah. So small mistake here. Small mistake here. Now we have to figure we don't want him to like poke at our cutting point and keep attacking our top group. So it's going to be a little awkward here. And that can easily happen when we want to do something, they do something unexpected, we respond to that, and we kind of forget the first thing that we said that we were going to do.
So I played a different move because the cap was originally intended if they had jumped out again, and instead they turned. And so I thought that the knight's move at 11 at a G11 um was constricting their space a little bit.
Oh, I thought the cap was because you were trying to get them to run uh down and then just split them off from the bottom group, attacking two things simultaneously. I'll show you that in review.
Okay.
But yeah, here we need to look after our shape somehow. Gotta be
Uh,
careful.
yep.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
I thought about
Um,
J14, but I decided
Little
not
bit too slow, J14.
to. This feels better. Also thought
Mm-hmm.
about turning at L17, but I don't think that that's quite right either.
Yeah.
Um, what if I just cap this stone right now? Like, where is this group going?
That's a very good question. Because we
What if
definitely don't
I
want it to keep jumping to the right and have it connect all the way across the board to White's other stones there. That would be the worst case scenario.
right. So what's at P13? That's like playing a move to coax him to keep his side, right?
Um, it's playing away from the current area. You might get forcing moves out of him there, but I would say since this group isn't settled and his group's not settled, I don't think we want to play away right now.
Okay.
Because he could ignore you and then just keep putting pressure on you.
I know attachments are bad, but in this case, it feels like there is a crosscut here. If you wedge the jump,
I think we're trying to get a
uh,
little bit too difficult here. Like his shape is too good. You're not going to be able to cut that. Like he's got a 1 point jump. It's defended by two diagonals. Yeah, I don't see that being disconnected. I think most we could do here is just give our stone more liberties and then watch it protect the cutting point and then play something uh, else after that. Yeah, if you had like some small knights, maybe we could do something in there and start cutting those. If you had large knights or two space extensions, absolutely sure. But yeah, a 1 point jump defended by two diagonals. I don't think we're getting through that. Oh, look who decided to go defend himself. Okay, so we took the cut. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential here.
let's see. What is best here?
Mm.
Thinking of G12. It
G12.
it pokes
Going
at
for a
or it
kill.
peeps. Thinking about the extension again, J9. I don't think I can just play the net. I don't think that's gonna work here.
Net, what do you mean?
Net at L10.
Well, oh yeah, I wouldn't want to back off from there either. No, 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 no. Your group's pretty fine right now. At the moment, we just want to see. We want to play the most severe moves possible that allow us to profit as much as we can from this group is probably going to live. But the more forcing moves he has to play in order to live should make us happy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about just extending. I think the extension is best here.
It does create, it does keep your stones nice and strong.
Another move I'm looking at is there's a diagonal at f12 that also pokes at the cut and makes a dog ear. I think that's a dog ear shape. Um,
I have absolutely no
with
idea what
a
shapes are called, so I'm gonna have to.
uh,
I'll just have to assume that yes, that is a dog ear.
yes, there is a very nice looking triangle shape
Hmm.
around the knight's move, and it would be threatening a cut.
Okay.
It is an aesthetically pleasing shape.
There is one thing we have to keep in mind above all else right now. Right now, we can see we've got some territory on left, cool. Some territory on bottom, fascinating. He's got the upper left solid. The upper right is solidifying. So at the end of the sequence, I would want him to either be dead or I would want him to be ending in Gote so I can reduce some of his territory or keep developing the middle for myself. I would not want to end in Gote here. Whatever it is we do, we want to make sure that he has to respond to our moves. And if he doesn't have to respond to our moves, then frack him, I'm playing elsewhere.
Okay.
Because I can clearly see he just wants to kind of like Tanuki from you whenever he can and just kind of keep picking up points.
Uh, let's
So we have to make
see.
sure anything we play is something that is threatening right now.
Um, yeah, this is threatening.
That
The
is threatening a
threat is
cut.
that is threatening a cut. Um, have I made a mistake?
Um,
Let's if I connect.
that is the question.
If I connect, let's see, that's automatically peeping. Um, and if he connects, what if he doesn't connect? I don't have enough liberties to hold that. So that's not a very good.
That does seem like a bit of an awkward shape. That is for sure.
Yeah, I think this is the best I can do here.
Now that on the bright side is Sente. He's gonna take. That's good. We didn't end in Gote here, so that's good.
I did not think of I did not think of that move. I expected him to connect.
There are technically some variations that might have been okay with that diagonal, but yeah, it was a weird disconnected group with very few liberties surrounded by white stones. So chances are it was gonna get a little messed up there. That's for sure. You still have a yeah. You still have a forcing move there. Sure. Good. Force them to take. Now,
Sorry, you
I,
started saying something.
yeah. Okay, that's your game's turned really strange. I try to predict what the players are gonna do, and it's really difficult. This co is enormous. I don't. I, yeah, I was about to suggest playing like maybe there's another force you could play like that Hane at J8, but I did not anticipate this co.
Do I need those 4 stones?
They represent 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, about 25 plus points. So it's not It's not small, unless you're sure you could kill him, even if, well, actually, technically, okay, technically, you can connect. He takes, and it's still a co. So right now you're in a co. You could connect. He takes. You're still in a co. So I guess in that regard, you don't really lose anything. So I could see connecting here if you felt like it. Sure. And the damage is contained to the stones that he's starting to take right now. So yeah, okay. I was against it initially, but I'm on board if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So the question is, where are co-threats going to come from?
Let's see. There's G. G9 is a local threat.
G9, G9, G9. No, 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 no.
Dari the three
Oh,
stone.
I think that's a little small. I want to think a little bit bigger if we're talking like 25 points in the middle, or in that left-hand bit there. I'd want to think a little bit larger.
Um, uh, there's the invasion at R8. If that got 2 free moves, like, that whole side would be gone.
That's not unreasonable. Sure, sure.
But on this board, I can't see any other,
So there's a couple of standards. The invasion, sure, absolutely. One really, oh yikes! I'm gonna make a dot that big.
oh, wait, there's a
One,
full side.
one common co-threat is the attachment onto an enclosure because you get the free cut through if they ignore you. That can be kind of big. Anytime you're looking to, if there is on some boards a chance to like separate two weak groups, that can be a threat because tactically it could be pretty nice. But yeah, invasions, attachments to large areas of territory, cutting apart two different groups. Those are usually where we want to get our co-threats from. So anything that like kind of fits one of those is good.
So, if I play it like, I'm not saying I'm gonna play it right now, but if I play E13, that's a false eye.
E13. I mean, technically true, but you don't have a lot of liberties there. He just like if he yeah, if he disconnect and then yeah, he's got way too many liberties to try to capture that. No, true. Technically true. Technically true. Okay, so he went for the attachment, sure. They usually ignore this, let themselves get cut. Or they respond, that's fine too. Great thing about that is this response gives you another follow-up because hello, you're a 3/3 invasion. An interesting move.
Is that worth 25 points, though?
I don't know. Well, actually, so for him, it's 25 points. For you, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 5-ish? So it's up to you. Is that, I think that's, yep, I would agree.
I think
That
that's
was
just the
not
corner.
worth. That is just the corner, yep. And unfortunately, this invasion does not stop the other invasion on the right-hand side of the board still. Like that R8 that you mentioned, still a 3-space extension right there. So you can steal your corner, but you can still get in there, because Sente.
So if you play R8 and they stand on top of mm,
There's a question here, but you should play it and we should find out. Because the idea behind R8 being, ooh, ow, why that one?
I hesitated. But
Careful, he's slowly defending that right-hand side now, with extra stones in the middle. So, if you're going to invade, we definitely don't want to keep working against his stones, otherwise we might miss our invasion. Because R8 works because it can get out, or it can kind of live under pretty peacefully. But if we lose one of those directions because extra stones are out of the outside, it gets much harder to live in there. Does that make sense?
yes. Um,
Still can't believe that went to Co. Like, I'm looking at it, but I still can't believe that went to Co.
um,
You're hesitating. What are we hesitating over?
I don't want to play on the corner anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm looking at the middle because if I can just take 70% of the board, then that's probably better.
So we're ignoring R8. Huh.
Yeah, I don't think that it's that big. Maybe it's
Okay.
big.
Okay. So think about middle. Where do we have good profit or attacks in the middle?
I want to keep all these stones disconnected. I don't think there's enough room to make life in
Okay.
here.
If we're going to disconnect them, then let's start disconnecting. How are we going to do that? Don't do H8. That's only 3 stones. We're not doing that one. I'm telling you that right now.
I am looking at O11. Oh my god, I'm in Byoyomi.
Yep, you are.
Um,
When,
yeah.
when you said disconnected, I thought you meant the middle stones, the top and the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, those things. That's admittedly. Yeah, I've been wanting you to play this one for a long time.
This move has to
This
be
is
played.
huge. Like, if those 4 stones in the middle can't connect to the bottom has to live by itself, and the middle is just going to quietly die. Because there's not a chance it makes 2 eyes in the middle. Now, this next move is important. Because we're strong in the area, therefore we can be aggressive. If we weren't strong in the area, we wouldn't be able to get away with this next move. But we are.
Yeah, there's a peep at G4.
So we can keep things disconnected, right?
What do you mean disconnected?
His 4 from connected to the bottom. Yeah, double Hane. Most severe move that we can play. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And next. Most of these are just straightforward.
Cut G5.
Sure. Sounds like it works. Yeah, this Hane sequence here, I love it because it's so straightforward, and I mean, White has to live. He has to answer all of these moves.
Gotta
save the 2 stones, obviously. Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Can't let them die. Still gotta save them.
Yep.
Yep, good. Because he's undercut still there, right? Because of your D3 stone, he's starting to like do a 1-point jump on in. So all of these moves are completely fine. He'll live on the bottom of the board, and we expect it. But he will not live on the bottom of the board and the middle of the board at the same time. Can't do it. Like that move right there with Sentei, otherwise you're going to take the 3, so he has to defend again. So I agree. The invasion on the right was a little small. If we're going to play this sequence instead, If we played anything else, it probably wouldn't have been worth it because the right is pretty big. That's like its biggest area of territory. But this is a reasonable exchange. Okay. Now we can either continue trying to attack the bottom or make sure his stones in the middle, those 6 there, can't jump away, and then we could just like surround those instead. Okay. That looks reasonable. That looks reasonable.
Shape point, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel real.
Interesting way to describe it. It's
It's not a real threat.
it yes and no. You're in Byoyomi. It's technically threatening. Oh dear, does he see it? Don't see it. Don't see the cow. Don't see the cow. Don't see the cow. There's no way you're playing the cow, right?
Wait, there's a ko?
Yeah, d5. Weirdly enough, that move that he played here can technically threaten to kind of push out and then the Qatari and do something else. Like it gets messy. It might not work, but it's just messy.
Gotcha.
It'll probably be fine regardless, no matter what he plays. It'll probably be okay regardless.
Let's see. I want to play O5. O5 feels good. Table
Okay.
shape.
Okay.
Because the 2 stones that I have are pretty weak right now.
Alrighty then.
Atari down or towards the side.
What if I said you probably shouldn't Atari anything?
Extend C6.
I think the extension seems reasonable, unless I'm misreading, which is always a possibility. So if this gets you killed, sorry about that.
Uh,
I think
so
this is fine, because you've got 3
um,
liberties there. So I think you're okay for the moment. It's not a lot of fun, but I think you're okay.
1, 2. Okay, there's 4 liberties on the stick.
Okay. Next move is straightforward. Cool. Uh-huh. To be fair, the Atari down was a lot easier than the crap that I'm recommending now. So yeah, now you're fine. Just make sure that you don't get captured. And that should be the end of his sequence. I admit the Atari down may have been a lot simpler, but it would have put pressure on your corner. I wouldn't want that to accidentally get killed. Like, I'll show you the variation in review, what he was trying to go for.
I am having way too much fun talking. I feel under a lot of time pressure right now.
Now you've gotten a glimpse as to what streaming's like. Because that pretty much describes that. Only add in forgetting a cutting point later because you were talking and then dying miserably. Then you got a life of a streamer right there.
Oof.
Okay, so guess he's not quite ready to throw in the towel yet, but those stones on the left are definitely all toast. Yep, just extending or taking is irrelevant. You are good regardless. He might try to Han or something, but his stones only have 3 liberties, and everything surrounding the area has got more than 3 liberties, so I don't really see where that's going to particularly go.
pass.
Okay, there's the pass.
Remove the dead stones.
That's a lot of dead stones.
Black wins.
All right. Like last time, I had to keep things simple. I'm just gonna go ahead and hop into the Discord or the Discord channel.
Okay, I will see you there.
Hear you now, yes. All right. Thank you for the game, Celes. Regretfully, you do have a lot of background noise. So I think I'm gonna have to mute you. Your microphone seems very, very sensitive. But since you can hear it, that's fine. That's great. So this game was fairly straightforward. Black opened up with a 2-space and close. White approached on the outside, not a problem. This move here is a little bit special because you are leaving, for example, the option for white for black to pincer you, which could be awkward if we don't know how to settle here. I would personally rather do something old school and grab a base, or something a little bit more frameworky and maybe go back off high. Maybe even attach here if you really insist on playing a new style that the AI is heavily recommending. That is okay too, technically. This was fine. I will state that I personally would prefer either a 2-space back off or 3-space high, going either for a nice solid territorial base or a little bit larger amount of influence on the high line. But this is fine too. This is a little bit older, but still okay. This move was the first truly strange move of the game because it's running point blank into black's strength and damaging our stone here in the process. Really wouldn't want to play something like that. If we wanted to split like the bottom, for example, we could do so here because we can get a 2-space that way if that's what we're trying to do. Or we can do a split this way. Can they get pushed from the outside? We can go a 2-space that way. That'd be fine as well. There's invasion options here. And lastly, there is the right, which needs a bit of a base to kind of defend our stone and connect everything up over on the right-hand side. So this is a little bit strange. Kind of glad you left this behind. Yep, that was okay. As mentioned, big moves for black here are the invade, and something over here to prevent the 2-space extension easily. All these are good, nice, fine moves. This is kind of the same thing here. This is a weird kind of shoulder hit that kind of hurts our stone, and so is this, unfortunately, because once again, we only have 3 liberties now, and black's getting stronger. Definitely want to try to avoid those. If you want to approach, I would approach and pincer. But I wouldn't do the low here, because it's usually bad for you. It's just kind of making black stronger in exchange for like 2-4 points. Now, you might think eventually that'll be large enough, but I mean, if black even gets something like this, that's 4 points. So essentially we can look at these points and X off these points because they're Mii. So all we're really doing is like trying to get these extra points, which isn't really worth making black immortal for, in my opinion. Here, defending is fine. I might go a little bit further just so I can get a healthier base here. It's a little bit cramped. Definitely don't want to play away though, because our stones are going to get killed if we don't. Because right now, as you saw in the late game, black has all of these forcing moves. And even if white doesn't die, we're not going to be happy being completely surrounded like this. That would be that would be a little bit unfortunate. So this is okay. Here, I would just jump out again. In fact, if I was black, I would have capped here immediately. because I anticipate white to try to be okay. I would defend here and solidify my territory, and you can still see that we're not comfortable with white's position yet. We're still looking for how not to die. So if we do something like this, for example, you'll notice immediately the bottom's being surrounded, so uh-oh, need to live there. But now the middle got surrounded, so uh-oh, we're gonna die there too. Like, we kind of got this weird Mii situation right now, where because we are immediately forcing white to go down, we're gonna get a split off both of these groups, and it's gonna go very, very badly for the one who's being split. This unfortunately just kind of strengthened the opponent. This is complicated, but I would play this one just to assure Sente. Like, no matter what my opponent plays, I know that I'm going to be able to defend here in Sente now, which is pretty much all I wanted to do. This, I would be tempted to leave it alone, because it's just one stone right now, and get out of here. Same thing, I want to cap this. Because if I can get some kind of, let's say, splitting attack going, I know that I'm going to have a very, very easy time here, killing either the middle or the bottom of the board. That's just the nature of having two weak groups in the same area, kind of running towards one another. This was really, really awkward, because now, yeah, white's going to come out. Can't play away yet. We got to make sure our cutting points are nice and safe, and that we're out and things like that. The minute we played here, it's got really, really dangerous, because black got to cut you. I would Hane immediately, because at best, you're going to Atari to freedom. Something like this. But then I know I will kill you here. This bottom group can't survive now that the top, not the middle, sorry, has been completely just encased in black stones. Again, nature of two weak groups. Same thing here. I'm going to play the Hane. I want my opponent to struggle as hard as possible. Because the more stones I get here, the more I'm killing on the bottom. Here, I thought we were going to play this one. Because now if the Atari, we got the Atari here into an easy defense. I did not expect this Ko to be played. Like, it's too big. Can't play that. Can't play that Ko. It's enormous. So yeah, this Ko very much determined a lot of the game. What got to take. Much I hate to say it, I don't think we can answer it. That is such a large group. We just have to be like, all right, yeah, our corner is going to get cut to pieces. That's just how that's going to go. That said, I think my threat was going to be here. I expect the ignore. Then when I extend, I'm probably going to kill. I probably have just killed all of this. I think all of this is now dead. Because I don't see how like this is going to live. Like this, there's not enough room to live here. And the middle is in trouble. So I'm already looking that those two groups have weak groups, and I'm trying to split them off and kill them. Yeah, nothing here was ever going to be answered. Maybe here's a local threat, because if we take this, then the 4 stones are in trouble. But I think that's about the only thing you got to look forward to there. Here, I would have gone back and played here again. I mentioned how large that was. This is also pretty large. I'd want to invade here too. And on that note, I mentioned I was going to ask you about this in a review. Celes, exactly what do you expect White's answer is if you invade?
Attach on top, Q8.
And Black's response?
Push once, R9.
Yeah, so it should be fairly easy to live here. Either white blocks down, and then it's just an easy Atari out, or we have the connection here, in which case we'll probably just go ahead and live this way. Like that. Seems alive. Enough room there. So yeah, pretty easy life, pretty easy life. Now we're getting a little bit worried. The double Hane is good. I think this was played fine. Technically, we could probably play here and kill the bottom still.
I thought about that move.
Yeah, I don't see where this is going, per se. Like, that's an Atari. Yeah, that just seems dead. This is fine. Would I play it differently? I don't think so. This is pretty straightforward. This I would have contemplated playing here, because as I mentioned, this makes me nervous. Like, I don't know if this is completely safe. If we just keep backing off, I don't like how much Aji is here. Like, if we keep answering this, that's now dead. That might live now. It's not the end of the world for it living, but yeah, it looks like a lot of Aji there. So yeah, I probably would have gone back and been like, okay, I'm gonna connect or play here because there's a Liberty shortage. After here, there's just nothing there. A little bit too slow there. I would probably go back and... Okay, technically, I would play here. And see what I can get away with on the outside. But a move like this is also fine. Like, get some outside. Some outside goodies. Double Hana here is very good from white. This, I thought, was actually pretty good. I think you had a chance here to do a kill. Because the minute black did not come out, I would probably... My first move here would be this one. If my opponent responded to me, then I would seek to see if I can't just net him. I expected this to be here. It looks like it might be okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. A little bit of a tough read, but it seems that white can capture. And then this one I'm pretty sure works, right? We play here. And if we get cut, there's too many liberties here. Yeah, there's too many liberties here. And if we go the other way, it's going to be essentially the same thing. I lied. That is going to work. Huh. Really? That works? Huh. Well, on the bright, there's an upside and a downside. One, this works. That's technically okay. Downside, tiny downside. This is now going to die. I think. Yeah, it looks like it's dead. Yeah, that's dead now. I think that about covers the game. Yeah, here played too fast. A simple connection here, and you don't lose the middle group. That was a little bit rough. Began playing a little bit too quick here, I think. There, Ordston. Especially here, better to just like lose the one stone than the whole middle group. Technically, that's probably better for in-game, but yeah, and then here there just wasn't anything. Any questions from either player?
No, I don't think so.
All right then. Ordston, thank you very much for playing, as well as Celes.
Yo.
Hope everyone on YouTube's enjoying the series, and as always, I'll see you all next time.